What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about an issue that unfortunately I've had, and it's kind of scary. It's something that some of us probably have encountered before, but probably going to happen to all of us in our journey one day or another. So I've got a hole inside of my poly thin skin unit. You can see it's right there. It looks like just a little speck. I'm going to zoom in real quick so you can see right there. Oh man, and it's like really close to the edge of the hairline too, which kind of makes it worse because it's a lot harder to control these breaks in the hair system and manage them when they're really close to the edge because it's easy for it to split apart. But this video is going to be all about a quick repair that I found. I don't have access to a patch, which you can get patches to fix polyurethane bases. But I found out a way that you can basically get around this with just having stuff that you have every day inside of your house, which I don't know about you, but I found this incredibly helpful because I didn't have anything, and I also didn't know when I took off my hair system, I didn't have a backup, right? Which means that like I needed to fix this problem ASAP. This video is sponsored by Levivid though, guys. Make sure to check out their stock. They've got new stuff coming in all the time and they make a great product. This right here, this model that I'll be putting on is a 95% density unit and it looks great. Let's jump back into the video though. So this video is going to be all about showing you how I went about repairing this, and I've actually been wearing it like this for the past week. So this is going to be the second time that I'm repairing this unit this way, just to show you the quick fix way. So the first thing you're gonna need is actually just like a plastic bag, something like this. This is a Ziploc, doesn't really matter. This is not 100% ideal though, because it's a little bit too shiny, it's a little bit too reflective, but it will work in a pinch, and that's why we're doing this video, is because you might not have access to what exactly you need in order to do this correctly. This is something using just like the basic supplies of what you might have around the house. So you're gonna need plastic bag, scissors. Obviously your hair system is damaged. It's easier if you have a mannequin. Now we're gonna jump down into the hair system. All right guys, so right here is the edge of our problem area right here. You can see a little split when I do this. You can see it open up. So basically all we're gonna take is a pair of scissors and your plastic bag right here. What you can do, you're not gonna need a ton of this. Like you can see, I cut out a small section of it the last time I did this. So it doesn't really require all that much. So I'm gonna actually cut just a little bit of this plastic bag out. It doesn't need to be exact right now because I'm actually gonna go back and I'm going to modify how big this little piece is right here. So I just cut this, and the premise of this right here, we're gonna do is we're actually just gonna lay it down kind of over the top like this right here. So that way the tape and adhesive doesn't pull on that exact spot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this from being about this size right here and cut it down. And these bags can be kind of tricky to cut with a normal pair of scissors just because they're so like flimsy. But they do work. Now with this right here, one of the problems that I'm kind of dealing with and the things that I got to work around is, since it's on the front hairline, you know, I want to be able to make sure that this, like I have a solid front hairline stick, right? But I also don't want to tear the hair system. So it's a delicate balance between going too big with this piece, but just big enough. So what I'm gonna do is I've cut it down now. If you can see the size of this, I went from that initial triangle, now it's just like a strip. And the general premise of what I'm gonna do is I am going to lay it over the top like this right here, and then we're gonna lay tape on top of it. So I'm gonna cut it down just a little bit more lengthwise because I don't need that much length. All right, so this right here perfectly goes over the problem area that we're facing. It's funny because it does tend to stick to poly quite well. Like even without the tape, it kind of seamlessly goes over it. So I actually put it over the poly before I do any tape. There we go. Okay, cool. So it's perfectly on there. It's covering over that area, and now we can begin the taping process. I use Ultra Hold a lot. As you guys know, that's kind of like my go-to when it comes to this stuff. So I'm basically going to tape this up double. Now, generally, I don't like to do that in the front hairline area because it just, you know, adds more gunk and stuff, but I want it to have support in 2 different directions. So I have cut a piece this size right here, not very big. And what I'm going to do is I'm first going to lay this down this direction right here. I didn't go all the way to the edge, and the reason I didn't go all the way to the edge is because I don't want to double up the very, very edge of the poly unit. The reason being, it would make it very, very thick, and that's not what we're going for. We're gonna try to do this in a way that looks as real, as believable as possible. So the first thing I'm going to do is take off this right here. All right, so now the issue is, how do I continue to secure this while also working at, you know, doing the normal hairline stuff? So generally speaking, I try to make as much of the tape around the perimeter like one piece as possible, because it makes it easier to take up the tape at the very end, like when I'm reapplying. But with this, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to create like a little bit of a section here. It kind of acts as like a little bit of a band-aid, as opposed to just going all the way across the front with one strip. The reason for this is just so, like, as I'm doing all of the work and trying to do all the finagling with the tape, which I don't know if you've seen any of my videos where I'm talking about tape and how I do it. I tend to kind of like manipulate it and wiggle it around and stuff, so that way I can do one straight piece. So instead of that, I'm just gonna kind of do this little T section right here. So that way it's got support going this way, it's got support going this way. And now I can tape up the rest of my unit, really, without having to worry too much about this entire process. So what I'll do now is I will tape up this part, I'll tape up this part, and then I'll go around the outside, and then we'll join up at the very end and talk about it. All right, guys, so this is the end result. I use Ultra Hold tape with Max Hold Sport as the base prep for this, so that way we have a good long hold with all of the exercise and sweating that I do on a regular basis. So this, remember, I think it's like right here. I'm gonna zoom in a second so you guys can see, but I have a piece of plastic bag that's being used as kind of like a patch for this right here, just to show you that it can be done with things that are around your house, things that you can't find. If you have a better suggestion of like a commonplace item that we could use, leave it in the comments below. All right, guys, so you are looking right now at the close-up. Let me know if you can actually see it. There might be a little bit of shine, I've noticed, that comes through, like a little glint of light, but it could be perceived as a little bit of sweat. I think it looks pretty good. Willing to go out and rock it. I did for the past 10 days. All these videos you've been seeing, I've actually had this little patch in the hair system, and no one has said a comment about it. So I think it works pretty well as like basically a no-cost fix to a problem like this. And even more so, if you don't have one of these tears right at the hairline, this is a great fix for literally $0 that can completely rejuvenate your hair system and make sure that you get more life out of it instead of just throwing it out because it has a rip in it. That being said, guys, so this is a 0.03 millimeter poly thin skin, which is my first time having a unit this thin, and it is quite easy to rip. I ripped it when I was pulling up tape my first time when I was doing a reinstall, and this is something you got to be watchful. This is something you got to watch out for. I was not aware of how easy these things rip, so be gentle, go slower. Today, when I was doing this reinstall of the tape, when I was taking it off, I went so slow, which I don't really love. Adds a little bit more time to the reinstall time, but it's a sacrifice for having, you know, a pretty good hairline up front. So just make sure you go slow if you are doing this, if you're doing a reinstall. Don't tear your system, but if you do, this right here is a solution that will save you some dollars and get a little bit more longevity and life out of your hair system. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you to Live Vivid for sponsoring this video, and we will see you all soon.